Hello everybody, and welcome to my first impressions of Journal. Journal is a game by Locked Door Puzzle, and it is a side-scrolling adventure game that is heavily based on its narrative. This is one of those story games, you know, guys, ones that actually there's been a lot of them that have come out recently, which has made me very, very happy, because, I don't know, I'm in the party of people. I kind of weigh gameplay and story kind of evenly, but I always do love it when games come out that have more of a focus on its plot and stuff like that, and this is definitely one of them, and a really cool one nonetheless. It also has kind of a lot of cool abstract ideas in regards to its art style, which is not something that is surprising at all, seeing as this is by the studio that actually brought us the game Cairo, which is one that, although I never finished it, because, I don't know, I really struggle with 3D, puzzle games, 3D world puzzle games, but, that was one that took me in, so, it just pulled me in, and I love that game so much. The world is really, it was so well developed, and the art style of this one definitely goes a long way towards how much I enjoy it. So let's actually jump on in so I can show off what this is all about. Journal. More. Starting off with this, like, Harry Potter-esque music, I suppose. Let's actually load in besides this. I think this is just the opening credits.
I've kept a journal for as long as I can remember. I used it to chronicle my every thought and dream. Until the day I opened it to find it completely blank.
So, as you guys just heard, we are this little girl throughout this story, and she just opened this, like, treasured journal of hers to find that the pages are entirely blank. Despite the voice acting that you just heard in this game, there actually isn't a heck of a lot of it in this game, which at first I was disappointed about, but you know, you can't have a lot of voice acting in every game, and sometimes I think actually the lack of voice acting really goes a hell of a long way, like, To the Moon. That's a game where I'm really actually glad that there isn't any voice acting at all, because I think it might have taken away from the experience in its own way, believe it or not. But, so yeah, first off, this is the art style of the game. Pretty much the entire game takes place in this notebook or journal that is on this desk that you could kind of see in the rim or the regions surrounding the screen. And every single page that you walk through or area of the world is just a different page in the notebook that you load through. This is something that I actually had to kind of get used to, I suppose, because at first I didn't like it all that much, just because I feel like it makes the character model, it may actually only really with our character specifically, makes the movement a little bit, feel a little bit awkward and bizarre, but especially when you jump, like, I really like to have our character just kind of skip all over the place, as you see right now when we mosey about. And I feel like that looks a little bit weird, but really, like, we see really cool, simplistic, but also really unique in their own way, abstract designs that really make up for it and make this art style. It's really cool, unique own thing, like these trees floating in the backgrounds. And obviously that's also disregarding that this is like an art style that I don't think I've ever even seen in a game before, seeing a whole game depicted through a journal or a notebook. So let's go back to our house and go ahead and talk to our mother and see what's up with that. Obviously, as we started out, we had this issue with our notebook where we're like, oh no, all of our writings are gone. All we have is like the opening to this one date, so maybe our mother has something that she knows about that.
I feel like there's something up with my mother lately. She always means well, but something's off. It's just a feeling.
See, that right there is a good example of how the voice acting works in this game. For the most part, there are actually 2 voice actors, although one of them only talks for this brief kind of like interlude between each day that goes throughout the game. We'll mention that later, that's this male that speaks. But basically whenever the female voice actress talks, it's just kind of giving off what this main character girl is feeling right now. I actually don't know if their name is ever mentioned in the game. It almost certainly is. I kind of want to say Elodie. And I've actually played through this whole game, so it's absolutely horrible that I don't remember her name, but, you know, that's just the case here. While all the dialogue, including our own character when she speaks, that actually you have to read out for yourself, rather than a voice actor doing it for you. So, hi, sweetie. Hi, Mom. Did you need me for something? Then, obviously, since this is like a narrative-based game, we get to, like, question people, kind of interrogate them, just also not really interrogations at all, although some of them kind of feel like it later, like we could ask her about the journal, and she'll just, then here's one of the things that becomes really big into the game. Basically, more than our actions I've seen in this game, what has a big effect is actually our words. Well, actually, I suppose just as much our actions as well. But your words have a huge impact on what goes on throughout the story. So there's a lot of times where you get, like, a couple of options, and you really need to consider what exactly you want to say to try to keep from, like, hurting someone or making yourself look bad, or if you want to be cruel, try to do something like that. Or as I like to play it, just the way you know, a way you would do it yourself. So let's be a little bit snooty, or not really snooty. Let's snoop into this kind of thing. Try to poke at our mom, figure out what she might know about the book. Well, somebody's been snooping. Pages don't just go blank on their own, you know. I don't know what to say, honey. You sure you didn't do anything? Let's not argue about this, honey. Haven't seen it. Blah, 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 blah. We don't need to finish that off. Obviously, this is one of those weird things because, with games like this, I really want to show off a lot of the story and the narrative and stuff like that. But I also kind of don't, because it's the thing that, it's really the biggest draw to this game. And so I don't want to, like, spoil it for anyone or anything like that. Now here, our mother just talked about her friend and saying that she's kind of quiet, but, you know, and she doesn't have many friends. So this is where things, like, this is an example of when things will actually really matter in regards to what, how we act. Like, for this example, of course, she's talking about this girl we know, and we could either be kind in regards to her, or insensitive, be kind of a bully, but she sounds pretty nice, and I don't want our character to be really mean to people, so let's go ahead and just say some kind words, you know. In fact, I think I'm a rather...
Sometimes I worry about Eleanor being too shy. It makes things difficult, especially at school, but she's still my friend.
Like, I consider myself a rather shy person for the most part, or at least in person, so I wouldn't want to be rude to any others. This is an interesting thing I should mention right here. You see this big, like, post-it note slapped around your way? That's, basically, you'll find those things throughout the world, and those are used to block you off from areas that you're not supposed to go to, and as the story progresses, those will actually disappear and open up to you to give you new areas that you can access along the way for the story. So let's go ahead and talk to that girl that our mother mentioned to us. That guy back there, his name was John, I believe. He's actually a really cool character in this story. I kind of like him a lot. He's got a little bit of a mysterious or dark background in some ways.
I've known Eleanor since we moved to the area. She was my first friend round here, and I think I was probably hers too. We had each other, and that's never changed. But even once I started to make other friends, she didn't.
Hey, there you are! Did something happen? I'm sorry, I got caught in other things. Oh, well, that's okay. I didn't have other plans. This poor little girl, she's just all alone. Let's go ahead and ask her how she's doing. I always like to start off, conversations that way. So why did you want to meet up? I just wanted to get out of the house. I didn't want to be around to get shouted at some more. Why would you be shouted at? What happened? You know one of the windows at school got broken, right? Yeah, I saw it. They put a board over it now. Well, someone's been spreading rumors about it. About me. What kind of rumors? They're saying I broke the window. Now we could either be suspicious about it or curious. This is one of the things where the game, sometimes it gets me a little bit because it's kind of a thing that happens with, like Mass Effect sometimes. I'll make a decision thinking I want to say something, but, it comes out a lot more cruel than I originally intended. Luckily, actually, Mass Effect kind of has that branching tree where the top option is always Paragon, bottom's always Renegade. In this one, it's not always as linear, which, you know, it's both a positive and negative thing, I suppose. So let's go ahead and be curious about it. Suspicious has kind of like a darker side to it, I suppose. So, well, keep things light and happy. Be a kind person. Do you know what actually happened to it? No. How would I? I didn't do it! I didn't even know it was broken. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the kind of thing you'd do. I never would. I'm glad you believe me. I don't know why my parents don't. How did your parents find out? I think the park keeper told them. Why would he do that? I guess he heard the rumors too. Have you told him you didn't do it? I probably should, but what if he shouts at me too? He wouldn't do that. John's a nice guy. I thought he was named John. If you say so, he's probably mad at me. I can talk to him for you if you want. Would you? Yeah, of course. Thanks. I've been upset about this whole thing.
Eleanor's upset because of a rumor that she broke a window at school. She says she didn't do it, but John already told her parents that it was her.
Alright, now I'm gonna keep things short and try to skip the other stuff. Obviously, that's something that you guys can check out on your own if you want to pick up this game, which I highly recommend. I've really enjoyed my time with this one so far. But if we kept talking to her, we would have found out that apparently there's been some... I believe this is what happens if you keep talking to her. You actually find out that apparently there has been word that I'm the one who told John that she broke the window. And, as we'll probably see in discussion with John right here, there's a bunch of other subtle hints that kind of suggest that I am actually, in fact, the one who broke the window as well. And kind of blamed our friend for it, which is a little bit of a mean and sucky thing to do, so hopefully we'll be able to change that in the future progression of this.
John's a friend of the family, but he hasn't been around much lately. He works nearby, but there was a time he visited my parents and me often.
Hey, John! Long time no see. Have you been? I'm alright. Busy with school? Something like that. Chin up! You know what they say, your school years are supposed to be the best years of your life. Enjoy them while you can. Yeah, I guess. Things have just been weird lately. Oh, what's up? Let's go ahead and tell him about the window. I just saw Elena. She's really upset. Oh, really? Did you two have a falling out? No, nothing like that. Well, that's good. So what happened? Is there something I could help you out with? She says her parents are mad at her because they think she broke one of the school windows. Alright. Poor Elena. I hope she's alright. It's not pleasant feeling like someone's disappointed in you. Let's go ahead and be protective of her. But she says she didn't do it. She told you that? Yeah. She's convinced that someone else is spreading rumors about her. I thought you knew that she'd done it. How would I know? You were the one who told me so. I told you? Why would I tell you she'd done it? I thought you said you'd seen her do it. I don't remember saying that. Well, did you see her do it or not? If you think you might be wrong, you'd better say now. I'm not sure. Perhaps you ought to have a careful perhaps you ought to have a careful think about it. You don't want Elena to be in trouble for no reason, do you? No, of course not. Now let's go ahead and talk back to Elena, see if we can apologize about it. I'm actually not sure. I forget if we can talk to our mother about it first. Let's check with that. No, not really. Let's just go ahead and head out back to Elena. That's, I think, the first time I've ever seen the, like, I'm done talking to you option in the middle rather than on the right side. That's kind of funny. You're still here? I'm going to stay here for a little while longer. It's better than being at home. I spoke to John. What did he say? Is he mad at me too? No, he's not mad, but what? Oh no. Am I in even more trouble? Is he going to tell the school? He was just concerned about you. But I didn't do it! Why does he think it was me? Let's go ahead and be straightforward and tell her the truth, because while evasive might help us, I don't necessarily think that's what is important right now, even if she might get mad at us. Somebody else told him you did it. Who would do that? Actually, he said I told him you did it. What? Why? Did you tell him it was me? I don't remember. Maybe I did. You did it, didn't you? You broke that window and blamed it on me. I thought you were my friend. Let's go ahead and, I actually was in denial before the first time I did this because I wasn't 100% sure if our character did it, but by future events it becomes much more clear, so let's actually go ahead and admit it, and hopefully that will have a apology mixed in as well. Oh, okay. So that's the kind of Mass Effect thing I was talking about before, where you might say something on accident that comes out a lot more brutish than you originally intended or wanted yourself, and this is a little bit of a case for that. I guess things just come out the way they do sometimes. So what? It's not a big deal. It'll get repaired. But I got in trouble for something you did. I didn't know your parents would freak out. John asked me about the window. I just didn't want him to think I did it. I wasn't thinking.
Eleanor overreacted about me telling John she'd broken the window. It's not as bad as she thinks it is, but she's really upset.
I can't believe you've done this to me. Let's go ahead and, unsympathetic. That's a little cruel. Let's go ahead and apologize. Try to earn back our friendship right here. I'm sorry, I really am. I wasn't going to take the blame for something I didn't do either. I don't want to talk to you right now. Just leave me alone.
We didn't leave things well after speaking about the window. Eleanor didn't want to talk about it anymore, and in a way I was glad.
Alright, now let's go back and, okay, I thought so. So, the thing that I always, one small but very important detail that I really like about this game is, I always find it a little bit sucky in these narrative, based stories, where, like, you have to complete a certain amount of tasks in the day, and then go back to, like, your kind of hub station in this regards our bedroom with the journal. And they actually don't give you any kind of notification that you've done everything that you possibly can in the day. That's the nice thing about this game. They give you that weird little, as we'll see right here, like, kind of papers flowing and directing you back to your house. That gives you the heads up that you're supposed to go back to your room and visit your journal because you've completed all the tasks that you need to within that day. So let's go ahead and check this out.
The Girl and the Roller Coaster. Once there was a great travelling carnival, renowned for its splendour across all the land. Where they travelled, they brought with them the strangest and most wonderful sights. The Big Top held some of the most talented circus performers who had ever lived. For the thrill seekers, of course, so much of this magic was just the backdrop for the rides. It was the rides that the girl cared about above all else. Each year she returned, the ride seemed even more exciting. No more so than the year she was finally tall enough to ride the roller coaster. In her mind she had built it up to something almost unreal, yet wonderfully it did not disappoint. As she got older, life got more complicated, until one year she was so wrapped up in life that she decided not to go. It was months before she realised how a part of her felt empty at having missed it. A sense of loss she couldn't explain. However, the carnival never returned. Her mother told her perhaps it closed down. Carnivals were no longer so impressive in this day and age. For some reason she blamed herself, as if somehow it was her fault they were gone. It had been so important to her. Why had she let it go?
Alright, now that's just kind of like what initially feels very, very flavor texty, because obviously that's a story that doesn't necessarily have anything really to do with us. just this random carnival that's going on. But it actually ties in very, very well with the story as it moves along, because they're, you know, kind of deep, interesting stories in their own way, but it actually does have quite some significant importance, actually really significant importance in all honesty, that it becomes a big deal towards the end of the game, kind of this game's big twist, or whatever you might call it. So, yeah, I think that's actually all I'm going to show off for Journal right here, since the first day is kind of like a tutorial setup for what you're going to see in the future, and I think it does it very, very well throughout this game. So, how much is Journal, and how long is it? It's currently going on Steam for $10, which I think is perfectly reasonable for this game. It's pretty short, definitely. Like, my time with it amounted to about 2 hours, and I completed the whole game. And I think it certainly could be finished faster than that. I usually like to do as much exploring as I can within these kinds of worlds and environments. So it's a short one, but I think it definitely holds up for that $10 price point. And if you're into these kind of narrative games, I think it's definitely one that you wouldn't want to miss picking up. It's a very, very cool experience. Actually, maybe I could show off what I don't know if it's a glitch, but I find it really funny because you actually can kind of jump off the screen. Like, see right here, you can't go any farther to the right. Once the school is here, if you hold down, wait, how do I do it? I think, I gotta remember how I did this. I think you go right, then hold down. No! I can't make this glitch happen! Wait, let me see. I completely forgot how to do it. There's been ways in the past where I've gone myself, like, a little bit past this boundary right here. Unfortunately, I can't entirely remember how to do it, but that's my own bad. Like, whatever, I give up. But yeah, as I was saying, this is Journal. Of course, as always, I'll put links to where you could pick up the game in the description below. I think it's really cool. Super nice art style, very compassionate story, one that I think everyone can relate to in their own way, especially with the small stories that happen every day. Like, there was one in particular that involved a certain grandparent that I know that I was really able to relate to, or at least relate to how our character was dealing with it and stuff like that. So, once again, I think it's one that you all should definitely check out if you're at all interested and have the chance. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, comment, and or subscribing if you have not. I am the EggScrambledGamer, and I will see you all next time.